All I can say is thank fuck for New Japan, and I wish WCW had won the Monday Night Wars. I'm John Ritlin with my review of WWE Raw, the Payback Fallout. Vince McMahon does not give two flying fucks about putting on even consistently decent television anymore. It's like he wants to put on a good show. Payback wasn't a great show by any stretch of the imagination, but with a 1 week build, I think it over-delivered. It was like a pumped up Raw or SmackDown episode. But my God, we've got almost another month until the pay-per-view, which is actually a good thing. You can have some good storylines built. They actually had a decent main event here and a good overarching story with that. It's just too bad the rest of it was filled with a bunch of goddamn bullshit. It was 5 septic tanks worth of bullshit here. My fucking God, I swear that if I wasn't so dedicated to reviewing this stuff and if I didn't love a lot of the talent featured on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, I don't know what the fuck I'd do with myself, but WWE television in 2020 has been pretty fucking abhorrent. Anytime they do a good show, they follow it up with something like this. And Orton's talking about, talking about Drew McIntyre. Commentary mentions that Drew has a hairline fracture of his jaw. Hopefully not true. Hopefully it's just for storyline. Hopefully he's not actually injured, but he does deserve some rest, and honestly it's a good way to write him out, give him a little bit of a chance to rest and recover. And he says he's happy to make Drew sip his meals through a straw, and says, I'm entitled to an opportunity. And Keith Lee comes out and talks about, you're doing everything you can to forget about me beating you at Payback. That factors into something I'm going to rant about here a little bit later. Also, before that, Orton showed some bad Photoshop of people in a hospital bed, or in various hospital beds. Drew, Flair, and a whole bunch of others. Shawn, who's still no selling the punt even to this day. Fucking Christ, Shawn, what the hell? But yeah, Lee's talking about that, and Lee's got a match against Ziggler. So here's Ziggler, had just suddenly summoned. And it turns out the creative actually misunderstood Ziggler all these years. When he kept saying, it should have been me, they heard tonight, it should have been Lee. And thankfully, Keith Lee beat him in this contenders match to advance to a triple threat match in the main event later. Here's a question though. Keith Lee beat Randy Orton in under 7 minutes at Payback, and Orton is leagues better than Ziggler, even though Ziggler is very good in the ring. Why did it take Lee 15 pissing minutes to beat Dolph Ziggler? The answer pretty much is because they needed to fill TV time, but they already filled it with a bunch of other bullshit, so I'm amazed they just didn't have a couple other matches go long. No, the second match they definitely shouldn't have had go long or go at all. But yeah, it took Lee twice as long to beat Dolph Ziggler. This went through a break, and it's not that Dolph isn't talented, but Lee should have wiped the floor with him. Should have freaking smoked him easily. And he hits Spirit Bomb for 3. We think of Shayna and Nia talking backstage, and Asuka interrupts, and they get in a bit of a shoving match and everything, and okay, cool. Shayna may go after Asuka's title at some point. Then we get Adam Pearce yelling at security about the group that calls themselves Retribution. Unfortunately, this isn't the only time that we would find out about Retribution, and we wouldn't just hear about them, no, we'd see them, because we aren't allowed to have nice fucking things on this show. Whoo, God, can you tell I'm getting a little bit angry about the group that calls themselves Retribution? I understand it's just wrestling, I understand it's entertainment, but you actually have to be entertaining, and there are some points where anger is necessary. Like, yeah, I got angry about Dynamite recently, I stand by that. WWE has done way worse things on television than AEW has, and AEW's done, a fair amount of good and a couple bad things. Yeah, I'm probably going to get hate for that in the comments anyway. So yeah, Asuka then yells about, wanting how nobody's ready for her, da-da-da-da-da. Mickey comes out. Mickey wants a shot. Cool, we could have a rematch, a TakeOver Toronto 1, but no. Here's Natalya, and I love Natalya. I actually like her. Here's Lana. Who the fuck gave Lana mic time? Who the fuck decided, hey, let's give this uncharismatic twat a mic? Because she can't talk, she can't fucking wrestle. As we get, we get a little bit of a brief brawl, and then we have, oh God, well, I'm going to talk about Lana a little bit more in a second. But we get the Viking Raiders, Cedric, and that bottle bachelor blonde Demi something or other. Garza is there back there with his flower or something ready to deflower her or something. I'm not exactly sure. Charlie must be very jealous. Then we get Mickey versus Lana. Asuka on commentary. Eventually, they had to fix her headset. Who the fuck did Mickey piss off? Now, she won the match, but why is she having to face Lana? Who the fuck thought it was a good idea to put Lana in the ring? She wasn't any good in 2017. She ain't any better now. Yeah, they gotta justify the contract that they're paying her, which is fucking stupid. Really fucking stupid they re-signed her. I'm happy she's getting paid, but she doesn't fucking deserve all that money for basically being a glorified mannequin on television. If the Bachelor Blonde wasn't there. But yeah, okay, Mickey won. Cool. All right. Orton then comes out of Alistair's closet, and I don't know what the fuck that was about, but wait, we get to find out a little bit later. Then the Iconics are talking backstage about being friends and winning the tag title shot. They are going to face Ruby and Liv in a number one contenders losing team is no more match. It's like AMW versus Triple X without all the build, or without any of the stakes being raised. Stakes being raised. Who doesn't want steaks? If you're a vegan, I applaud you for that. So, Alistair then attacks Kevin Owens during his entrance, obviously before the bell. And then Owens says, no, I want to continue. The referee's like, no, you shouldn't. Okay, on second thought, ring the bell. Orton hits an RKO soon after 1, 2, 3. Wasn't even a match. It was an angle. Alistair also is cosplaying as Snake from Metal Gear Solid. It is absolutely hilarious. He now needs to go hide in a cardboard box somewhere. If he does that, then I think they might sue. But honestly, it would be pretty funny to see. And then the Mysterio family, it was good that their grandmother came along until I found out that was actually the mother, which surprised me because she does kind of look like the grandmother. Also, weird to see how both of Ray's kids are taller than him. Absolutely hilarious. And then we get clips of of Apollo and Lashley from Payback, sponsored by KFC, as subtle as a brick to the skull. Motherfucking what the hell? What the actual shit? You can defend a lot of stuff, but seriously? Fucking seriously? My God. It's absolutely fucking hilarious and atrocious, but it is par for the course. This is the same, head by the same company that said the N-word while Booker T was right next to him on live TV. Good job there. So we get the VIP lounge, and MVP talks about the Hurt Business and all that. Shelton's there with him. Shelton's going to face Apollo later on Raw Underground. They have not gotten rid of Raw Underground. I don't understand why. Here's Lashley as U.S. champion. They are paying Lashley apparently $3.5 million a year. And all they've done with him is put him in a terrible angle where he loves his sisters. That was atrocious. They could have had him face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2018, but they didn't do that. Then they gave him Lio Rush, who was an annoying little gnat on the mic, which was the idea. Had 2 short Intercontinental Championship runs. Did fuck all in, most of 2019, except have the horrible angle with Lana, because Lana ruins everything like she has for the last couple years. At least her on-screen character does. And then, now he's U.S. champion. He should be one of their top guys. Whether he is, good enough on the mic or not, he should be one of the top guys. That's why MVP is there. But now, he can't be one of the top guys. Why would Vince pay somebody that much goddamn money and then not use them properly? It's almost like WCW never left. It just got absorbed into WWE. I'm not talking about the invasion. All right. So, Cedric then shows up, and the Viking Raiders show up. And by the way, have I mentioned that the Viking Raiders have not meant anything for a while, and that the Viking Raiders are absolutely fucking destroyed and ruined, in my opinion? If they're having fun, great. If they're having fun getting paid, great. And they're happy with their characters, great. They used to be destroyers. I used to be able to take them seriously. They had a 6-man with the Hurt Business, and I just didn't care. Dreaded Roll-Up, by the way, from Cedric pins MVP. These matches really didn't mean much of anything. MVP's all happy. He's like, oh, hey, Cedric, good on you. You could join. No, I think I know who's going to fucking join. It's not going to be Cedric. It's all a swerve, bro. A swerve, which actually isn't a swerve. It's just, bullshit. Then the Hurt Business beat up Cedric. They give him the clap first, and then they beat him up. They applaud him is what I mean. Then they beat him up backstage until Apollo and Ricochet Sane show up. If you want to know why I call Ricochet Sane, until he apologizes for being at the Team Vision Dojo and explains why he associated with that piece of shit, that rancid individual, then he gets no love and no acceptance. He should apologize, because nobody should be associating with that piece of shit. Ruby and Liv versus the Iconics. Losing team is no more. It was kickoff, rematch city, and the match was fine. The timing was a little bit better than the kickoff match, and these things happen. But they had a bunch of roll-up reversals at the end, and most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, surprise roll-up. I think it's the third roll-up, to win a match. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Ruby pins Billy, and now the Iconics are no more. If they had built this up to, like, say, the Clash of Champions kickoff or something, or built it up, like, for a while, and they had a best-of-7 series, and the losing team at the end must break up, that would have created some drama. Whether these women would have been, where the creative rather would have been able to, have anything interesting happen with these women or allowed anything to happen is up for debate. But all 4 of these women are talented enough to make it work. Look, I like the Iconics as a team. They want to break them up and they want to make them single stars. And they want to have Peyton on Raw, Billy on SmackDown, or vice versa. Fine. I just fear that they're going to basically job Billy out and they're just going to make Peyton a star, or vice versa. And I just don't like that. It's like both are talented enough, and now Ruby and Liv get a tag title shot. Cool, whatever. Rollins then, yells at Murphy saying, "You kicked me in the head. Get out of my face. Go think about what you've done." Rubs his nose in it. "Look what you did. Look at..." And Dominic attacks Murphy in the entranceway. Yeah, they barely allowed the Iconics thing to register before they went on to this. And Rollins versus Dominic. Winner advances to the triple threat thing. Match is fine. Dominic did fine. I do like the springboard arm drag that he does. Thank fuck he did not win this. Curb stomp for 3. And then another curb stomp while the family watches on. Doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely fuck all. Ray didn't do anything because he's not medically cleared. Didn't want the grandma to go out there and didn't want the daughter to go out there. Probably because CM Punk still traumatized her by singing Happy Birthday. That was good shit. That was also about 10.5 years ago. Raw Underground. Hey, Titus beats up a couple guys and then loses to Riddick Moss. Raw Underground, by the way, is the second worst thing that WWE has done this year. Behind Retribution, the group known as Retribution. I don't like Raw Underground. Some people do, and that's fine. By the way, any of this stuff I don't like, if you like it, fucking fantastic. Doesn't mean I have to. And then the Street Profits. I'm just going to be honest right now. It's nothing against the people themselves, but I hate the Street Profits gimmick. Fucking hate it. They're one of my least favorite tag teams. They're actually approaching hatred that I have for the Dark Order. Because the gimmick is annoying. Shouting does not equal entertainment. I learned that by shouting, crazily, on my phone, just putting it to YouTube. But I'm also not, on a worldwide platform. Like, I'm not on, I'm not broadcasting to millions of people. People want to watch, they want to watch. These are supposed to be entertainers, and it's not entertaining. I don't care what smoke they want. And also, why the cups? Why the fucking cups? I just don't get it. Then Tozawa shows up in the parking garage with his ninjas. And then the referee is actually the parking lot attendant, Truth, rolls him up. Wins the title. And runs off with it. And then the parking garage, Tozawa leaves one of his ninjas in the parking garage and just goes off. This 24/7 championship stuff is absolute garbage and has been absolute garbage since its inception, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Entertainment is one thing. I mean, I clearly must be out of touch, or WWE is trying to leave me behind, trying to leave fans like myself behind, because this just isn't entertaining at all. And then two Profits, many red cups. The Profits versus Garza and Andrade with Zelina and the Bachelor Blonde there at ringside, who seems like she gets distracted by shiny things easily. Tornado tag match. Does anybody really care about this feud anymore? Lights start flickering. Oh no, Garza gets the Bottle Blonde out of there. Leaves Andrade and Zelina. The Profits are there, and then the group known as Retribution beats up everybody. The women obviously beat up Zelina. Why? Why is this group still happening? What is the end game? Seriously, what's the fucking end game? I mean, it's not even like, oh, I'm curious. Why do you have this happening? It's not entertaining television. It's just fucking not. And then, so Pierce yells at security. It's fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. Adam Pierce is looking like a goddamn idiot here. And then Jessamine Duke brutally fists a couple women, and then Shafir shows up, and the Iconics show up. And Billy gets thrown in by Peyton, and Peyton's laughing because I guess Billy lost. So she's like, okay, we broke up. I'll show you. You get fisted by 2 women while I watch. Peyton Royce, presumably. And then MVP and Rico Chasene are there. Oh, by the way, Apollo and Shelton also have a fight, I guess. And then we get the Hurt Business laying out Apollo's group of, ragtag misfits. And then Garza and the Bachelor Blonde are there. And I think she called Retribution, Restoration. I'm not shocked. Also, does she just live in the Thunderdome now? Because she was in the Performance Center, and now she's there. Does she just live in the fucking trailer or something? Like, seriously, why is she always there? I mean, she's happy there. If they're happy with her there, that's fine. It just, there's no explanation. And then, but yeah, Retribution she gets all frightened after Garza runs off. Cue the ASDF, I like trains gif. And then we have Orton versus Lee versus Rollins. Winner faces Drew at Clash of Champions. Okay, here's the finish of it. Spirit Bomb to Rollins. RKO to Lee. And Orton covers Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Lee gets protected. There you go. That's the end of that. The show wasn't very good, but I understand why Orton won. Hey, at least Lee didn't take the pin. They haven't screwed him up yet, but they screwed up a lot of this a lot of the rest of the show. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.